how do you try to inspire fans of Critical Role to play D&D? Now that this book is out, you've given them a lot more tools to get into Dungeons and Dragons. But also, this book is very much perfect for someone who is an old school D&D player at the same time. Like, how do you encourage both? But especially critters who are like a little nervous maybe about getting into tabletop, but have always watched you play. And you set a very high standard of play as well.
For one, for people who have watched the show and have followed our stories and adventures, a lot of times the challenge and the anxiety with starting to play is starting to dungeon master. Running a game is a very intimidating thing if you don't really know at first what you're trying to accomplish or what world to play it in. If you're doing it on a module, it's still having to learn what that world is about and trying to absorb and understand the world that you're going to run it in. Or you're homebrewing and creating your own world, which is in itself a very time-consuming endeavor, depending on how big a scale you want to build it, especially if it's your first time doing it. So for people who are fans of Critical Role and have watched the most recent campaign, this is a world you're already very familiar with, and hopefully would feel more comfortable jumping into and taking the reins on. So this book, for those people, is a place where there's baked-in familiarity. There are locations and factions and tensions and characters and NPCs and elements of the world that are already well established based on our current campaigns, so you have the opportunity to choose and pick within these spaces that you're already familiar with and comfortable with the idea of running a game in this region, removed from the adventures of our campaign, or connected if you wanted to. So for those people, it's an invitation to begin building in a space they're already comfortable with, which is a lot of times the first hurdle for running your first game. For classic players who have no idea about any of the stuff we do, I really wanted this to be a very comprehensive, fun, engaging world in its own right that stands alone, unique from other settings, but also doesn't require you to have knowledge of or really care of our show to still be able to dig into, pull apart, make it your own, customize, change, or keep as much as you want, and use every part of the buffalo, if you will, to what you want to make your campaign fun and enjoyable. So that's my goal with this, is to make it something that anybody could make use of and enjoy.
Fantastic. I'm very, very excited. I'm very excited to see all the other people starting their own campaigns in your setting all over the world. I think that's going to be sort of amazing, right? Like this idea that maybe some other people will start streaming and the world of Exandria will just spread throughout Twitch, because all of these fans are now taking on the mantle of being a dungeon master is very, very exciting to me.
It's hard to explain the idea of that, and even just people that already have begun running their own campaigns and will approach me at conventions and tell me about their version of Exandria and how they're running their home games and how they've changed the story and chosen different points in the timeline. To me, it's so exciting, it's exhilarating, and it fills me with pride to think that, something that I've created has inspired somebody to then create on top of and make their own and continue to build on. That is, in my opinion, kind of one of the greatest feelings as a creator. I'm not precious with the things. I don't have a way it should be run. I don't have an idea that, what I do is how things are supposed to be. There's just how I do things. And I know that there are many things I have to learn, and there are many people out there that can do things far better than I can. And it's exciting to see people take something that I started and run with it and make it something even more beautiful and more expansive and exciting than I could have hoped for. And that to me is a huge thrill.
Pre-order now on dndbeyond.com and receive exclusive bonus content with everything that you need to start your own adventure.